ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्ठिकी। ॐ अज्ञानातिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपदान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च। हे कृष्णकरुणासिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्ते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णविस्तवतले प्रभुपादतिप्रिय श्री गिरिराजाय स्वामिने सुभक्तशास्त्रविद्याय धृतसाधनशलिने राधारासबिहारिभ्यं भक्तिभ्यश्चात्मदायिने। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णविस्तवतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयति गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणम्। हरे कृष्ण। So we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 29. So we'll read text 47. So this is talks between Narada Muni and King Prachinabharahi. And in this section now, so Narada Muni is speaking in such a way, that the king will become detached. So text 44, he says, the most powerful Lord Brahma, so this is a description of the Supreme Lord. The most powerful Lord Brahma, the father of all progenitors, Lord Shiva, Manu, Daksha, and the other rulers of humankind, the four saintly first-class brahmacharis headed by Sanaka and Sanatana, the great sages Marichi, Atri, Angira, Pulatsyam, Pulaha, Kratu, Brighu, and Vashishta, and my humble self, Narada, are all stalwart brahmanas who can speak authoritatively on Vedic literature. We are very powerful because of austerities, meditation, and education. Nonetheless, even after inquiring about the Supreme Person of Godhead, whom we always see, we do not know perfectly about Him. So this is about the process of knowledge to know Krishna. Then text 45. Despite the cultivation of Vedic knowledge, which is unlimited, and the worship of different demigods by the symptoms of Vedic mantras, Demigod worship doesn't help one to understand the supreme powerful personality of Godhead. So we are now in text 46, chapter, Hare Krishna, chapter 29 and text 46. Yada yasyanu grihinati bhagavan atma bhavitaha saja jahati matim loke vede cha parinishtitam. When a person is fully engaged in devotional service, he is favored by the Lord who bestows his causeless mercy. At such a time, the awakened devotee gives up all material activities and ritualistic performances mentioned in the Vedas. So this is a very long purport. So we'll go paragraph by paragraph. Kushali.
In the previous verse, those who are in knowledge have been described as unable to appreciate the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Similarly, this verse indicates that those who are followers of the Vedic rituals, as well as those who are followers of beauty activities, are unable to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In these two verses, both the Karmis and Jnanis are described as unfit to understand Him. As described by Srila Rupa Goswami, only when one is completely free from mental speculation and fruitive activity, anya abhilashita shunyam jnana karmani anavrutam, can one engage in pure devotional service without being polluted by material desires. The significant word Atma-bhavita indicates that the Lord is awakened in one's mind if one constantly thinks of Him. A pure devotee is always thinking of the lotus feet of the Lord. Sarve Mana Krishna Padara Bindu. A pure devotee cannot remain a moment without being absorbed in thoughts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This constant thinking of the Lord is described in Bhagavad Gita as Sadaka Yuktana, always engaging in the Lord's service. Bhajatam Priti Purvakam. This is devotional service in love and affection. Because the Supreme Personality of Godhead dictates to the pure devotee from within, the devotee is saved from all material activities. Even the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies are considered material activities because by such activities one is simply elevated to other planetary systems, the residential abodes of the demigods. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 9.25, Yanti deva vrata deva pitrun yanti pitruvrataha Udani yanti bhutteja yanti madhyajeno imam. Those who worship the demigods will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will take birth among such beings. Those who worship ancestors go to the ancestors, and those who worship me will live with me. The word Atma-bhavita also indicates that the devotee...
Yeah, 1 minute. So this first paragraph. Right. So let's remember here. So devotional service has a symptom. Alright. How do I know I'm a bhakta? Alright. So Atma Bhavitaha. So it means that one's mind, one is constantly thinking of Krishna. This is the symptom. Atma Bhav, meaning my whole personality, soul, is permeated only of thoughts of Krishna. So this is the first symptom. And this is possible only when we are engaged in devotional service in love and affection. So anyway, it's going to be described gradually how to come to this point. So previously the jnana was removed, we already saw, and now this karma is removed, this ritualistic ceremonies, ritualistic activities, material activities. So these two, they contaminate, they cover the soul. So therefore, pure devotional service must be devoid of karma and jnana. So if our mind is absorbed only in Krishna, then we can go to Krishna. Otherwise, there are so many other destinations. Whatever we are thinking of, that's where we go. Now continue.
that a devotee is always engaged in preaching to deliver conditioned souls. It is said of the six Goswamis, Nana Shastra Vicharaneka Nikuno, Saddharma Samsthapako, Lokanam Hitakarino. A pure devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is always thinking of how the fallen conditioned souls can be delivered. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, influenced by the merciful devotees, attempt to deliver fallen souls and lightens the people in general from within by his causeless mercy. If a devotee is blessed by another devotee, he becomes free from karmakand and jnanakand activities. As confirmed in Brahma Samhita, Vedeshu Durlabham, the Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot be realized through karmakand and jnanakand. Adurlabham Atma Bhakta, the Lord is realized only by a sincere devotee. This material world, the cosmic manifestation, is created by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the living entities have come here to enjoy themselves. The Vedic instructions guide them according to different regulative principles, and intelligent people take advantage of these instructions. They enjoy material life without being disturbed. This is actually illusion, and to get out of this illusion by one's own endeavor is very difficult. The general populace is engaged in material activities, and when people are a little advanced, they become attracted by the ritualistic ceremonies mentioned in the Vedas. However, when one is frustrated in the performance of these ritualistic ceremonies, he again comes to material activities. In this way, both the followers of the Vedic rituals and the followers of material activities are entangled in conditional life. These people get the seed of devotional service only by the goodwill of the Guru and Krishna. This is confirmed in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhakti Lata Bij.
Yes, so previous paragraph again, Atma Bhavita. So here Prabhupada says that this is the devotee who's engaged in preaching. So, because the soul is so permeated with bhakti, right? So automatically an outflow of your bhakti would be that you want to preach. Like, oh, maybe you can sit, you're completely hidden. So, I think we should remove this chair so nobody sits. Just push it behind you. All right. Yes, so when the soul, the pure devotee, is so much imbued with Krishna consciousness that he's always thinking how fallen conditioned soul can be delivered. Are we able to follow this? When you can be a preacher, why do you want to be a preacher? Here Prabhupada is saying, why? Yeah, but why will he do this? The pure devotee, why he or she will do this?
Because it's by the blessings of the devotees.
No, why would he, engage in this activity? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Yeah, so why would the devotee engage in doing this work? Yeah, I'm saying, why would the pure devotee engage in preaching? What's the impetus for him?
To spread the word of Krishna.
Yeah, but what's the impetus? What is impelling him to do this? I said it already.
Yeah, these people get a seed of devotional service only by goodwill of the Guru and Krishna.
Yeah, my question is that why would the devotee engage in preaching?
What you said here, the devotee is Atma Bhavita, so he's always engaged in preaching to deliver conditions.
Yeah. So what's it means that unless we become Atma Bhavita, our preaching doesn't sustain, right? Meaning that devotee is so full of of thinking of Krishna. So he's feeling the pain of Krishna, you could say, right? The unhappiness of Krishna. Like why these people are behaving in this way, why they're doing this, right? So that's why the first paragraph spoke of the pure devotee who's Atma Bhavita, who's always thinking of Krishna, is completely absorbed in thoughts of Krishna, and an outflow of that love that he's experiencing is that he wants to preach. Feel sorry for the people, for what they are doing. Yeah, so then the general people, they have three contamination you could say. One, sinful activity. One is karma kand, as King Prachina Barhishat. Prachina Barhishat. Okay, so he's covered by karma kand, and then there are others who are covered by jnana. So there is no way they can come out of it except when he meets a devotee, right? So unless the devotees take the trouble to go door to door, meet people, organize program, and then tell them about Krishna, they can never come out. If we just leave it to them, it's never going to happen. So the Supreme Personal Godhead cannot be realized through Karmakand and Jnanakand. So only when, Karmakand is, we are going up to the heavenly planets. Jnanakand, we can go up to Brahman, but we cannot reach Krishna. So if we want to reach Krishna, then we need, the idea has to come from a devotee. Alright, go on. Oh yeah, so we already read this. So this is the second paragraph also. So what is this Karmakand? These are Vedic instructions. Alright, so instead of people just doing sinful activities according to their own whims, so the Vedas are giving them certain directions. But what's the problem? People they say yes, that's all. So it's dharmic, it is all about sense gratification. What's the problem with sense gratification?
They still keep moving in this cycle of birth and death.
Yes, and Prabhupada is writing here.
Are entangled in conditional life.
Yes, cycle of birth and death means to get entangled. And so, they're just enjoying life according to Vedic instruction. What's the problem?
But they are misguided because they don't know the true purpose of life.
Yes, and Prabhupada is explaining again.
Because when he is frustrated in performance of this ritualistic ceremony, again he wants to material things. So he can fall down to sensitive activities.
Yeah, first thing is that, because you are following the Vedic system, what's the problem? You are enjoying life following the Vedic system. You give donation, and you go on pilgrimage, you keep fasting, right? You perform the pujas, I don't know what other things you do regularly. You do the 16 samskara, right? Everything's perfect. So what's the problem?
Because they consider the material sense enjoyment to be the all in all. Because
Yes.
focused on material sense.
Yeah, so what's the problem with this thought?
We get stuck there. We don't try to go beyond this.
Prabhupada is saying that actually it's illusion. Right? This is what Prabhupada is saying. This is actually illusion. It's an illusion. What does that mean, illusion?
It's not real. So So the happiness they derive from sense enjoyment is not real happiness.
Yes. Do you agree with this?
Yes.
You agree? Tell me why you agree.
Because it is not the supreme happiness that we can derive from serving Krishna, and it is temporary. So Krishna also explains that some pleasures only result in pain. So it might seem, some activities might seem giving happiness, but actually in the long run, it increases the pain after.
Yeah, so we are doing all the Vedic rituals, but this actually is illusion. This is actually illusion, meaning that you just like you win a lottery, right? You win a lottery. Usually, what happens to people who win lotteries? What happens?
You lose also money that quickly. You win it and you lose it.
Yes.
You feel that false good of happiness, but it's very temporary.
Why? Why do they lose it?
They don't have a capacity to hold it. They want it, but you need to build a capacity, that mind muscle power to hold that, sustain the money for a longer period of time. They are not yet developed that.
Yeah, so therefore it's illusory. All right? So here we read again, the Vedic instructions guide them according to different regulative principles, and intelligent people take advantage of these instructions. All right? They thus enjoy material life without being disturbed. So they are in material life and they are enjoying without being disturbed. Priya, can you just ask them to put on the AC? I think everybody is suffocating now.
Mataji, because the soul also has some kind of memory.
Yeah.
So if they keep going into the same circle again and again, enjoying the same things again and again, they will eventually get bored.
Yeah, yes, same Apsara, right? They get fed up with the same woman, right? Or whatever it is. So they thus enjoy material life without being disturbed. This is actually illusion. Like Bali Maharaj, right? This is a classic example. Bali Maharaj, Bali. So he went and conquered somebody else's kingdom, right? He had to lose it, right? So he went out and he conquered the kingdom, Indra's kingdom, but it didn't last. He had to lose it. And if we remember, he did yagya to get Indra's throne, right? Isn't it? He actually did yagya. And then the last time when he was sick, I think somehow the idea came up that if you do yagya, unless you do yagya to Vishnu, you can't hold. So he was going to do yagya for Vishnu. All right? And Vishnu came. All right, Vishnu came, Vaman Dev came and took away everything from him. All right? So this is how tricky it is. So another point that Prabhupada brought out here is that when we do these fruity Vedic rituals, then at some point we give it up. We fall into sinful activities, and that we know very well from the story of Indra, right? He achieved heaven, but even after he achieved heaven, then he became relaxed. He became relaxed and he offended his guru, right? And when he offended his guru, he lost everything. From one to the next, what happened, right? So he committed sinful activities just to defend his throne. He killed a Brahmana, right? This is how entangling it becomes. So you're king of Indra, you've done all the Vedic rituals, everything, but in the course of your life, in order to maintain your position, you commit heavy sinful activities. It's like, this is what you call samsara, entanglement. You didn't want it this way, but that's what happened. Very complicated, right? Like your hair gets entangled, right? You know how difficult it is to remove the knot? So this is how the jiva gets caught in the network of material life. So therefore, here we are, it's like we are helpless. We are trying to cut here. I should do this, so you cut here, and then something else is sprouting up somewhere else. You cut here, and something else is sprouting. So you get so frustrated. So the only way out is Kono Bhagyavan Jiv, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. So these people get the seed of devotional service only by the goodwill of Guru and Krishna. So, yeah, read, continue.
When one is engaged in devotional service, he is no longer attracted to material activities. When a man is covered by different designations, he cannot engage in devotional service. One has to become freed from such designated activities, sarvopādhi vidirmuktam, and become pure in order to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead through purified senses. Rishikeshena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Uchyate. The service of the Lord through purified senses is called Bhakti Yoga or devotional service. The sincere devotee is always helped by the Super Soul who resides within the heart of every living entity, as Lord Krishna confirms in Bhagavad Gita 10.10. Tesham sadata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamupayanti te. To those who are constantly devoted and worship me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. This is the stage.
Yeah. Okay, now this section now is speaking about what is the qualification to engage in devotional service. What is the qualification? Yes, and? Not attracted by material activities and? Yeah, I'm asking what is the qualification. So, to serve the Supreme Lord?
Free from such designated activities.
Yes, all right, free from designations. So there is a system, the Vedic system, very simple. So at the age of 5, the child is sent to Gurukul, all right? And the child will work as a menial servant, right? Will work as a menial servant in the Gurukul. Do everything, like we did also. Like we were grown up, but we did all this. We did jharu pocha, all right? Cooking, cleaning, washing, everything. Then we went door to door. We had to humble ourselves, people, closing the door in our face, right? Everything we did, because then that started to remove the designation, who you are. And this is a very, very important training. So then you become more mature, you're ready to do anything. And in bhakti, you should be able to do anything, all right? Otherwise, you can't do. When you ask this person, please wash the dishes, and what? You want me to wash the dishes? Please go and bring this bucket. Please go and bring this carton from Sankirtan office. Oh, I have servant to do this. You are asking me to do. This is what I experienced. Whereas a devotee who has undergone that training, only thing, this is devotional service. They are ready to do each and every work because it is for Krishna. I remember this girl, in our office. I said, go Sankana office, I need a box to keep books. She did, and then said, I can't do this work. At home I have servants. All right? What I am. So very big problem. Very, very big problem. I remember even this one devotee, So, I don't know what work it was. So he came to me and said, my wife didn't leave his job in order to do this type of work. She's supposed to sit in an office and do this type of work. Right? Right? So this is, we witness this. When you miss the stage of brahmacharini training, when you've been sitting in big offices, where you have big certificate and you put your designation and you try doctor this, doctor that, whatever it is, right? So we tell you, go and pluck flowers for Radha Ras Vihar. You say, what? You're not able to do it. Let the workers pluck the flowers. Why should I pluck the flowers? I would just stand there and make him pluck. I'm witnessing every day, right? It's not my work. Therefore, Mr. and Mrs. and Miss cannot engage in devotional service. Alright? Because of a designation, a false designation. One has to become freed from such designative activities and become pure in order to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead through purified senses. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhaktir Uchchate. Then the sincere devotee is always held by the super soul who resides within the heart of every living entity. So meaning that the progress is happening not only by one's own personal endeavor, but also the Supreme Lord, the Paramatma in the heart. He's also helping. Read.
This is the stage of becoming free from the contamination of the material world. At such a time, a devotee makes friends with another devotee and his engagement in material activities ceases completely. At that time, he attains the favor of the Lord and loses his faith in material civilization, which begins with Varnashram Dharma. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu speaks clearly of one's becoming liberated from the Varnashram Dharma, the most exalted system of human civilization. At such a time, one feels himself to be perpetually the servant of Lord Krishna, a position taken by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. Naham vipro na chanara pati napi vaishyo na shudro naham varni na cha grahapati no vanasto yatirava kintu prodya nikhila paramananda purnamruta dhare gopi bhartyu pada kamalayo Dasa, Dasanudasaya. I am not a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya or Shudra. I am not a Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha or Sannyasi. What am I? I am the eternal servant of the servant of the servant of Lord Krishna. Through the disciplic succession, one can attain this conclusion, which is perfect elevation to the transcendental platform.
Yes. So, now again, so this stage, meaning what is freedom from contamination? Which contamination? Which contamination is being discussed here? Please be specific. What is the contamination? Designation. Upadhi. Alright? My upadhi, I'm Mr. This, I'm Miss This, I'm Mrs. This. Right? I look like this. Right? How people should see me, how I want the world to see me. These are my designations, right? So, when the devotee no longer cares for this designation and is ready to do anything, right? Just like now. Okay, comes this next. So at such a time, a devotee makes friends with another devotee and his engagement in material activities ceases completely. At that time, he attains the favor of the Lord and loses his faith in material civilization. Now, this material civilization, what is it? Prabhupada gives, indicates what is material civilization. Material civilization begins with Varnashram Dharma. But what is Prabhupada speaking here when it comes to pure devotional service? Yes, please note this down. That pure devotional service is free from Varnashram Dharma. Alright? I will never forget this incident. This Varnashram Dharma is such a designation. Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Alright? And even I'll take one section of it of Shudras. Okay? Now Shudras, there are different work that they have to do. Now I'll give you one thing that I witnessed in Govinda restaurant. Okay? So this waiter, he was serving, some drink, and he dropped one glass, right? He dropped a glass, and I was sitting with another devotee. Immediately I look, and what was my reaction? He dropped the glass. So what was what will be the reaction of any human being if somebody has dropped a glass? What would be your reaction? Clean it up immediately, right, in your house, right? What did he do? He just stayed like this. Why? He will wait for the cleaner. All right? They're all Shudras, right? But he will wait for the cleaner. And I'm saying, careful, somebody will just walk by and may get hurt. You understand? Like when you are just fixed in your designation, I am a waiter who serves, the prasadam, the drinks, I'm not the cleaner. You see how you get stuck? Because you cannot become compassionate to others. Right? What's the big deal? Immediately bend down, take a hanky or something, just clean and call, in the meantime, call the cleaner. Right? So a devotee will do anything. Like Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada was 70 years old when he started his movement. He went to the West. Right? Do you think in 70 years Prabhupada has ever washed a dish? No. Right? What did he do when he went to the West? He washed the dishes of who? Hippies, drug addicts, alcoholics, the worst of people. He washed the dishes. Why? Why?
He didn't identify himself. He wanted them to raise their standards. So
Yeah, he didn't come as a Varnashram Dharmi, right? He went to preach and pick up people from the gutter, right? So he did anything and everything. So who have thought, I'm a big Brahmana, big Acharya in my India, I'll go. He wouldn't even have go. Anyway, some people did go and they were looting people in the West. But Srila Prabhupada, he went in that hippie people. He was the most compassionate. Actually, I heard one lecture, Prabhupada was speaking, and then he was speaking about how Narad Muni, like a devotee, it doesn't matter for him whether he's in hell or heaven. It doesn't matter, anywhere he is fine. And then he said, he himself said that when he went to the West, he said, we should not speak about this. But meaning it was as good as being in hell for him. For those people, it was, the best place to be in. But for Prabhupada, that was actually hell. Because of no designation. Here, Gopi Bhartu Padakamalayo Das Anudasaha. Alright? I'm not a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya or Shudra. I'm not a Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanapras or Sannyasi. If Prabhupada was thinking he's a sannyasi, he wouldn't have got those hippies, boys and girls married, right? He's a sannyasi, what does he have to do with getting people married? But no, he said they are just living in irregular relationship. So he said no, it should become proper. So he got them married. Himself, he did the fire sacrifice. And himself, he taught the girl how to wear a sari. Alright? Please wear saris. The way Urmila ji is looking very beautiful. And Nikhileshwari also.
Because of you, Mataji, you only taught me. Thank you so much. Chatted me and made me.
Unfortunately, I could not make anybody else wear the sari. Yes, so the sannyasi, and he taught all this. I remember one time, few Prabhupada disciples came here, and I think that was Vishaka Mataji. So she was saying how one time, so she had her sari, so she washed it, and it was just all wrung up and put in a bucket. But they were so busy, there was no time to spread it out and dry it, So then, that time they didn't have so many saris. So then, somehow she needed a sari, and the sari was still wrung up, but like half dry or whatever it was. So she just picked it, opened it and wore it. So when Prabhupada saw her in the sari, he said, "Oh, you look so beautiful." So Vishaka Mataji, she said that, then I understood how much Srila Prabhupada loved it when the devotees will wear the sari. Because how beautiful will you look in a completely wrinkled sari, crumpled up sari, right? So that was, anyway, so the sannyasi. So what am I? I'm the eternal servant of the servant of the servant of Lord Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada was Atma Bhavita. His mind was only absorbed in Krishna, how to serve Krishna. So through the disciplic succession, one can attain this conclusion, which is the perfect elevation, the transcendental platform. Meaning bhakti is, what's the platform of bhakti? Transcendental, beyond varnashram, right? Not that, a glass falls down and break and you sit and wait, and when it's such a frequented place, anybody can come, a child can run, anybody can come and get cut, right? Waiting for the cleaner to come, right? Okay. Text 47. Tasmad karmasu barhishman agyanat arthakashishu martha drishtim krita shrotra sparshishva sprishta vastushu. Just be careful with this wire. 1 minute, just be careful with this wire. It will catch this one and make it fall. Put it the proper way and disentangle it. Right. This is called Krishna consciousness. All right.
Translation. My dear King Bhishma, you should never out of ignorance take to the Vedic rituals or to fruited activity, which may be pleasing to hear about or which may appear to be the goal of self-interest. You should should never take these to be the ultimate goal of life. But what? In Bhagavad Gita 2.4243 it is said, Yam ivam pushpitam vacham pravadanti avipashchita vedavada ratapatha nadyat astiti valina kamatmana swargapara janma karma phalapradam kriya vishesha bahula Bhogeshwarya Gati. Men of small knowledge are very much affected to the flowery words of the Vedas, which recommend various fruitive activities for the elevation to the heavenly planets, resultant in birth, power, and so forth. Being desirous of sense gratification and opulent life, they say that there is nothing more than this. Generally, people are very much attracted to the fruitive activities sanctioned in the Vedic rituals. One may be very much attracted to becoming elevated to the heavenly planets by performing great sacrifices like those of King Mahishman. Sri Narada Muni wanted to stop King Mahishman from engaging in such fruitive activities. Therefore, he is now directly telling you, don't be interested in such temporary benefits. In modern civilization, people are very much interested in exploiting the resources of material nature through the method of science. Indeed, this is considered advancement. This is not actually advancement, however, but is simply pleasing to hear. Although we are advancing according to such concocted methods, we are forgetting our real purpose. Bhakti Vinod Thakur therefore said, Jara Vidya Joto Maye Vaibhav Topra Bhajane Badha. Materialistic studies are the glare of Maya only, for they are an obstacle to spiritual progress. The temporary comforts of life experienced either on this planet or on other planets are to be taken as illusionary because they do not touch the real purpose of life. The real purpose of life is to go back and back to Godhead. Ignorant of the real purpose of life, people take to either gross materialistic activities or ritualistic activities. King Mahishman is herein requested not to be attached to such activities. In the Vedas, it is stated that the performance of sacrifice is the actual purpose of life. A section of the Indian population known as the Arya Samajists lay too much stress on the sacrificial portion of the Vedas. This verse indicates, however, that such sacrifices are to be taken as illusionary. Actually, the aim of human life should be God realization or Krishna consciousness. The Vedic performances are, of course, very glittering and pleasing to hear about, but they do not serve the real purpose of life.
Yeah, so here, just like all the advertisement, right? Advertisement is simply, it looks good, it feels good, right? Come and take. That's what advertisement is all about. But actually, it's false. Like Disneyland, right? Disneyland is false world. So all the kids are attracted. Yes. I don't know what sensation happens in this Disneyland. But then you come back to real life, real world, right? It's all over, your Disneyland, everything is over. So, the entire material world is simply illusion like this. So, the Vedic literatures will prescribe something according to, this fruitive activity, this yagya, all this is like a type of spiritual technique for material sense gratification. But modern people, they push it all aside. They do by their own means, by what they call science. So they create, our phone, they create a computer, right? And we know very well how Sanjaya, he also had television, right? So these are more subtle science. So how to go up to heavenly planet, how you come down, the techniques for it. So, but at the end of it all, Jara vidya yatha mayara vaibhav tomara bhajana bhadha. Materialistic studies are the glare of Maya only, for they are an obstacle to spiritual progress. So, why is Narad Muni insisting so much about this Karma Kanya and Jnana Kanya also? Why is he insisting so much? Don't do this, don't do this. Why? People don't like us, right? When we say, don't worship this Deva, that Deva, don't do this ritual, that ritual, they become very angry, right? Say Hare Krishna, people are very fanatics, right? That's what they say. So, why?
Nobody knows about Krishna.
Yes,
The
and,
real
and
purpose
therefore,
of life is to do what?
yes. I think by now, I'm sure we've forgotten everything we read from this fourth canto, right? Everything forgotten. Something maybe is left, no? That we have to go back and read and we remember the horror of material life, right? Let's go and read again. Remember how we read about Jara, right? And death. So everything already forgotten, right? We read, we heard, but we already forgotten. Life carries on, right? So don't forget, there is zero happiness in this world. If we are sitting, feeling anyway, let me just sit and watch the movie of life. Katha mitha, right? Like I heard this one person, all this news. So he said that anyway, coronavirus came and went, all right? Now another section of life is coming, another difficulty, financial recession. Ye bhi kaat jayega. I mean, this, which is very good. I mean, in India, which is a very good attitude of meaning, it is tolerating and not revolting and throwing, your government down the way uncivilized people do, right? Ye bhi kaat jayega, because they know this is, yes, and they know this is material life. But is it intelligent? No. All right? Correct in the attitude that this will also go, but here we want to be more intelligent. What is that intelligence?
To know where to go from here.
Yes. Or is it that life is only going to be a series of calamities, right? Until death, right? Calamity, and after calamity, you just heard this one had this problem for so many months or years and then died. And you're also on the line, right? And say, anyway, I have to prepare myself for it. Anyway, it's going to happen. Anyway, it's okay. What to do? Everybody does it. Has to go through it. Okay, I also have to go through it. It's not Bhagavatam. Otherwise, close off the book and stay at home and let life carry you on the way it does. It wants, right? Let the current carry you. No. Here, Bhagavatam is interfering in our life. Right? Interfering in our life and saying that, no, we must know the real purpose of life. That is to go back home, back to Godhead. Text 48. Swam lokam na vidustevai yatra devo janardanaha ahu dhumra dhiyo vedam sakarmakam atadvidaha. Yes, Shashi.
Those who are less intelligent.
Yeah, put it on. Yes. Can you speak?
Those who are less intelligent. Those who are less intelligent accept the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies as all in all. They do not know that the purpose of Veda is to understand one's own home, where the Supreme Personality of Godhead is. Not being interested in their real home, they are illusion and search after other homes. Generally, people are not aware of their interest in life to return home, back to Godhead. People who do not know about their real home in the spiritual world, spiritual world, there are many Vaikuntha planets, and the topmost planet is Krishna, Golok, Vrindavan. Despite the so-called advancement of civilization, there is no information of the Vaikuntha road, the spiritual planet. At the present moment, so-called advanced civilized men are trying to go to other planets, but they do not know that even if they go to the highest planetary system, Brahmalok, they have to come back again to this planet. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 8.16. Brahma Guna Loka Punar Avtino Bhujana Ma Teyu Tu Kaunteya Punar Janmamana Vidyati. From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery wherein repeated birth and death take place. But one who attains my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again.
Yes, so this topic now is that you should know where's your home. We are creating so many homes, right? And here, Swam Lokam, know your own home. So when Prabhupada wrote back home, back to Godhead, so you see where he got it? Swam Lokam. Those who are less intelligent accept the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies as all in all. They do not know that the purpose of the Vedas is to understand one's own home, where the Supreme Personality of Godhead lives. Not being interested in their real home, they are illusioned and search after other homes. Alright? And we are unhappy. Right? Especially now in Kali Yuga. How many homes are happy? Always an anxiety about whether that home will last or not. Right? So we leave behind, our real home, and we go on searching for false homes. So Krishna makes the statement, your home is not in Brahmalok, right? Not in Brahmalok or in the lowest planet in this world. So take it from Krishna. Yes.
If one goes to the highest planetary system within this universe, he still has to return after the effects of pious activities are finished. Space vehicles may go very high in the sky, but soon as their fuel is finished, they have to return to this earthly planet. All these activities are performed in illusion. The real attempt should now to be returned home back to Godhead. The process is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, Yanti Madhyajino, Bhima. Those who engage in the devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead return home, back to Godhead. Human life is very valuable, and one should not waste it in vain exploration of other planets. One should be intelligent enough to return to Godhead. One should be interested in information about the spiritual Vaikuntha planets, and in particular, the planet known as Golok Vrindavan, and should learn the art of going there by simple methods of devotional service, beginning with hearing, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu. This is also confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam 12.3.51. Kale Purusha Nidhi Raja, Asti Ek Siko Mahan Guna, Kitana Iva Krishnasya, Mukta Shankar Param Vrajiti. One can go to the Supreme Planet Param Vrajiti simply by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. This is especially meant for the people of this age, Kale Doshi Niti. It is the special advantage of this age that simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, one can become purified of all material contamination and return home back to Godhead. There is no doubt about this.
Yes, so this is, we're finding a home in Brahmalok, right? How do we get the ticket to go there? Brahmalok? What is the system? Yeah, pious deeds, right? This is how you pay the ticket. Like all of you work hard, right? You save your money, then you buy the ticket. Meaning your work, it's not just that you're paying money, you're working, right? And when you lose a ticket, how you feel, right? If you lose a ticket, say, oh my hard work, right? Because so pious deeds is what you invest, right? The charity you give, the penance that you do, the control, the mind and senses that you do. To go to Brahma Lok, you should be able to forgive. If you want to make an entry in Brahma Lok, right? You should be able to forgive each and everything that people do to you. Alright? And not just in one lifetime. I heard I don't know how many 100 lifetimes or something. You should be able to forgive, because that's the quality of a Brahmana. Right? So then you can earn, this is a ticket, earning the pious credit to go to Brahma Lok. Alright? But if we don't progress further, then the ticket will expire. Alright? And whether you like it or not, we are pushed out. We're just pushed out. So sometimes you go somewhere, right, and you have to come back. You cannot stay there, you're forced. You just run away. When you go to Vrindavan, it's so happy, we all go to Vrindavan, and after some time you want to run away from Vrindavan. It gets so hot, it gets so cold, we don't have the Sukriti. In the same place, we are so eager to go. Start to hurt us. So, one should be intelligent enough to return to Godhead. Otherwise, we'll be like, that spaceship that goes up and then lose the fuel and has to land somewhere. So, what is the method to go back home, back to Godhead? Very simple. This is by this chanting of the holy name. This is specially meant for the people of this age. Kale doshe nidhe rajan, meaning that there are other methods, but they may be too difficult for us poor Kali Yuga people to do. Right? We can't even sit still for half an hour. Right? When you start chanting, your mind is going everywhere. Right? Start feeling thirsty, hungry, mosquito biting. Right? So many stuff. You can't even sit. Right? Or if you're at home, the doorbell is ringing, your husband is shouting, right? So many things are happening. You can't even sit to chant. So how will you meditate? Right? So it is a very special mercy that we are getting here. It is special advantage of this age that simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, one can become purified of all material contamination and return home back to Godhead. There is no doubt about this. Yeah, so this girl, the child is born, I can't chant. So I said, is the husband helping? Oh, no, Mataji, husband has his own work. Chant 16 rounds plus take care of baby all alone, right? So, but when we started talking, they said, Maharaji, actually there is time. It's amazing. I say, no, there is time, but I get to do other things. Distracted. Get distracted. So therefore, we read earlier that you need friends. You need friends in Krishna consciousness. Where did we read this? Sorry, where? Where did we read it? Material contamination and all that stuff. Yeah, this is the stage of becoming free from the contamination of the material world. At such a time, a devotee makes friends with other devotees, and his engagement in material activities ceases completely. Right? So, and we read earlier that unless one is free from sinful activities, he cannot associate with sadhus. Right? So, similarly in devotional life, in devotional life, if all the mothers get together and say, yes, yes, we can't chant when we have babies, then what will happen? Right? Yeah, it's true, yeah, it's okay, we have to compromise. So you need somebody who will pull and say, no, you can. And then she said, yes, I can see I have time, but you get into bad habit. Once you stop chanting, it is very difficult to pick up again. And here Prabhupada is saying it is the special advantage of this age that simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, one can become purified of all material contamination. Meaning, if you don't chant, all the dirty things of Kam, Krodh, Lobha, Moha, Matsarya, Mad will just sit on the heart. And these will be the cause of your misery, because they will force you to do sinful activities. So therefore we chant. Alright, couple more. 49. Astirya darbhe pragagrehe karsnyena kshiti mandalam stabdho brihat padhanmani karmana veshiyat param tat karma haritosham yat savidya tanmatiyaya. Is it on?
Hello. Translation. My dear king, the entire world is covered with the sharp points of kusha grass, and on the strength of this, you have become proud because you have killed various types of animals in sacrifices. Because of your foolishness, you do not know that devotional service is the only way one can please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You cannot understand this fact. Your only activity should be those that can please the Personality of Godhead. Our education should be such that we can become elevated to Krishna consciousness. Purport. In this verse, the great sage Narada Muni directly insults the king because he was engaged in performing sacrifices that entailed the killing of a great number of animals. The king was thinking that he was great for having performed so many sacrifices. But the great sage Narada directly chastises him, informing him that his animal killing only leads to his being puffed up with false prestige. Actually, anything that is done which does not lead to Krishna consciousness is a sinful activity. And any education that does not lead one to understand Krishna in false education. If Krishna consciousness is missing, one is simply engaged in false activities and false educational pursuits.
Yes, so now what happened? What happened here?
Because of sacrifices, his ego was puffed up.
Yeah, he thought, I'm very important, I have capacity to do so many sacrifices like puja, in my house there's always puja going on, right? So he become very proud, so stabdho brihad vadan mani, you think you're very important.
And he thought that that's the only way to please Supreme Personality of God.
Yes. Because of your foolishness, you do not know that devotional service is the only way one can please the Supreme Person Godhead. You cannot understand this fact. Your only activities should be those that can please the Person Godhead. Our education should be such that we become elevated to Krishna consciousness. So everybody who goes to school spend, 25 years at school, and spend how many lakh, right, in school. If we come out foolish, what's the use?
Yeah, like
right?
last time I said, then they don't believe and they make fun of people like, you want to go to Bhagavatam for what? There are more important ones.
Yeah, so false educational pursuits. If Krishna consciousness is missing, one is simply engaged in false activities and false educational pursuits. So Narad Muni now became Guru, right? And what did he do?
Insulting.
Yeah, he's a king, right? It's not you can't insult a king, right? Your head is finished, right? But Narad Muni, he insulted the king. That's what Prabhupada wrote, right? Directly insult the king because he was engaged in performing sacrifice. He called him Stabdho Brihad Vadan Mani. You consider yourself very important. You are a proud upstart. Krishna, what did he tell Arjuna? Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, right? Krishna also chastised Arjuna. He says, what are you? Right? What did he say? What does that mean?
From where has this miserly weakness come?
Yeah, you're behaving like a Shudra. Right? So you're behaving like a Shudra. You're crying to do your duty. You believe you are the body. You believe the other party are the body. Right? So, this is when relationship becomes close, right? Then the Guru chastised. 50. Hari deha britam atma swayam prakritirishwaraha tatpada mulam sharanam yatakshemo nrinamiha.
Translation. Sri Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the super soul and guide of all living entities.
What happened to the mic?
Sri Hari, Sri Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the super soul and guide of all living entities who have accepted material bodies within this world. He is the supreme controller of all material activities and material nature. He is also our best friend, and everyone should take shelter at his lotus feet. In doing so, one's life will be suspicious. Auspicious. In Bhagavad Gita 18.6, it is said, Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hrideshe Arjuna Tishtati. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna. The living entity is within the body and the super soul. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is also there. He is called Antaryami and Chaitanya. As Lord Krishna states in Bhagavad Gita 15.15, he is controlling everything. Sarvasya Jaham Hridi Sankrishto Mata Smriti Jnana Apohanam Cha. I'm seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. Everything is being directed by the super soul within the body. Therefore, the better part of Veda is to take his direction and be happy. To take his directions, one needs to be a devotee. And this is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 10.10. Tesham Satata Yuktanam Vajanam Priti Purvakam Dadami Buddhi Yogatam Yena Mam Upayanti. To those who are constantly devoted and worship me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. Although the super soul is in everyone's heart, Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hrideshe Arjuna Tishtati. He talks only to the pure devotees who constantly engage in his service. In Chaitanya Bhagavad Antya 3.45 is said, Tahare se bari vidya mantra adhyayana Krishna pada padme ye karaya sthiram man. One who has fixed his mind on the lotus feet of Krishna is to be understood as having the best education, as having studied all the Vedas. There are also other appropriate quotes in Chaitanya Bhagavat. Say Vidyara Kala Janiha Nishchaya Krishna Pada Padme Yadi Chitta Vriti Raya. The perfect result of an education is the fixing of one's mind on the lotus feet of Krishna. Adi Lila 13.17. Digvijaya Kariva Vidyara Karaye Nahe Ishware Bhajile Say Vidya Satya Kare. Conquering the world by means of material education is not desirable. If one engages himself in devotional service, his education is perfected. Adi Lila 13.173. Pade Kena Loka Krishna Bhakti Jani Kare Se Yadi Nahila Tabe Vidyaya Ki Kare. The purpose of education is to understand Krishna and his devotional service. If one does not do so, then education is false. Adi Lila 12.49. Ahare se bali dharma, karme sadachar, Ishwara se priti karme, sammata sabhara. Being cultured, educated, very active and religious means developing natural love for Krishna. Antarila 3.44. Everyone has dormant love for Krishna, and by culture and education that has to be awakened. That is the purpose of this Krishna conscious movement. Once Lord Chaitanya asked Sri Ramanand Rai what the best part of education was, and the Ramanand Rai replied that the best part of education is advancement in Krishna consciousness.
Yes, so this section is about education, right? We ended about false education, and what is real education is described here. So number one, what is the means to get knowledge? How do you get knowledge?
Engaging in devotional service.
According to this, yeah, when we engage in devotional service, what happens?
The education is perfected.
How?
Because the Lord from is Antaryama, is the Chaitya Guru.
Yes, because the Supreme Lords bring remembrance, right? When we engage in devotional service, then Krishna gives remembrance. Everything is being directed by the super soul within the body. Therefore, the better part of valor is to take his direction and be happy. What does that mean? The better part of valor. It's a English way of saying, right? What does that mean?
No, to be brave.
Yeah.
So don't be foolishly brave, but intelligently brave.
Yes. Yes. So, meaning you want to show how brave, how courageous you are, right? But you fail, right? So better you be humble and you accept, I don't know, let me come to Krishna. Let me show off, how I can study by myself, etc., etc. How learned I can become. So here Prabhupada is saying, better just accept the direction of Krishna and be happy. To take the direction now, what's the problem?
He needs to be a devotee.
Yeah. Unless you are devotee, you can't listen, you can't hear. Krishna is talking, but you can't hear. All right. Then comes that. So this education. What is the symptom of education? Now that you're becoming educated, what is the symptom that you are actually educated?
You gradually become more close towards Krishna. You understand who Krishna is.
Yeah.
Fixing one's mind on the lotus feet.
Meaning you are able to fix your mind on Krishna. Alright, symptom that you are educated, that you have received knowledge from Krishna, that you are able to fix your mind on Krishna, and it's not going here and there, flickering. Alright, then yes, education is getting complete. Yes, so when mind becomes fixed, what will we do next? When mind becomes fixed, how do you know the mind is fixed?
Having the best education and having studied all the Vedas.
No, when now I'm asking, what is the symptom that your mind is fixed upon Krishna?
You would like to engage in devotional.
Yes, you only want to do devotional service. You don't want to do something else. Alright, mind has become fixed. So being cultured, educated, very active and religious means developing natural love for Krishna. Everyone has dormant love for Krishna, and by culture and education that has to be awakened. Okay, culture and education, the love is awakened, right? And when the love is awakened, meaning that our mind has become fixed on Krishna and no longer goes here and there, here and there. So once Lord Chaitanya asked Sri Ramananda Rai what the best part of education was, and Ramananda Rai replied that the best part of education is advancement in Krishna consciousness. And if you don't advance in Krishna consciousness, what is the outcome? You fall. Alright, we actually fall. However so-called educated we may be, we may become a hippie in the street. Right? Drugs, alcohol, all types of sinful activities, however educated you may be. Husband and wife kill each other, right? They're all very highly educated, right? Pitiless, they murder each other. That's what I heard. Alright, so this is from the lotus mouth of Narad Muni, explaining what is education and what is the purpose of life. All these, outward ritual that we do only for sense gratification. Now people don't even do this, they just work hard. Work hard. Right? 12 hours, 16 hours they work, running their business. Right? And they don't want to give any donation. Right? No pious deed. So the government has to extract it from them. And then they won't give to temples. No. You can only give to poor people. Right? So meaning they are made a fool. Meaning they have hardly any pious credit. Sorry to say, but I don't know how fruitful it is to just give to poor people. They don't become intelligent. Do they become intelligent? So, money, resources should be invested so that people become intelligent and get educated and take up the path of devotional service. Otherwise, just a waste. So we give prasad. Prabhupada said two things. Give prasadam, give harinam. Let the heart becomes purified and let them get elevated. Alright, so Hare Krishna. Anything more? Hare Bol. You're sick today, Devavati. We shouldn't have put on the AC. We put it on just for you.
Last year I've been sick for last 2-3 weeks. This is coming and going. I become okay, and then again this mucus comes. So I'm not able to figure out whether it's a viral infection or bacterial infection. Antibiotics have to work accordingly.
Alright, so let's offer our pranam. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo